Good evening, everyone. Switch Gobbler as always. Well, this day has been preoccupied myself. Just been uh doing some of the last Christmas shopping and working on some of the last Christmas stores for well. And yeah, so this will be one of the last Geisha stream of the year. Um, I were planning to do a Christmas early Christmas stream around actually um next Friday will be an early Christmas stream since I won't be able to do one on either Christmas. Well, since my country celebrate a day before than the ones uh since traditionally American, England, other places celebrate the 25th. We celebrate the 24th here. So the 22nd will be an early Christmas stream and also it will be an early New Year's Eve stream will be on the 29th. Oh, sorry, the 30th. Sorry about that. So there will be an early Christmas stream the 22nd and early New Year's Eve stream the 30th. So this will be, well, a bit surprising of all this. And so, yeah, and it just, I'm actually quite surprised that I have managed to pull off nearly 15 stories in less than 2 weeks. Boy, that was well for the past 2 3 weeks actually. Oh man, it's just I have managed to pull off so many stories, and I have so far made. Let's see on the list. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13 stores. I have made 13, but I'm working on the 14th story. Ah, boy. Making 14 stories instead of 15 of boy. It's a lot of stories. I'm surprised they're not even burnt out. Well, well, well. Don't we have our favorite knuckleheads?
Mm-mm.
What's up?
Not much.
Same. Just been bored and pretty occupied most of the day. Done some Christmas shopping with my dad for, well, most of the afternoon. And worked on the next Christmas story, which is halfway through, which is your brother's. So, yeah, only a few more. And I also sending this. The next Gameshow stream, the last one for the year, will be the 29, and early Halloween, not Halloween, but early New Year's Eve stream will be the 30th, and early Christmas will be 22nd. Since you guys won't be able to do that on the 25th, and I won't be able to do that on the 24th, since that will when we celebrate Christmas. And even though that's late in the evening, and I might just be exhausted from that, so that is just one of the things. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. The medicine tastes gross.
you know,
Actually, it
when I
doesn't
had
taste too bad, but uh,
yeah, when I had a bad throat, I never takes any medicine for it. for most part. I usually just I just usually drink either something hot, cold, eat ice cream, or something that pretty much help.
I don't know. The medicine's been working pretty well.
Well, I mean that depends on, of course, of how bad it is. If it's just a slight, if a light sore throat, maybe not necessary for much a big help. But if you've been coughing for days and in that it doesn't help, then maybe. So you guys been up to? So what you guys been up to?
On this. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing a lot better than I was like a week ago, but
Oh boy. Um, Hayden asked, "What is Norse mythology?"
is there an option to punch him?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just go to this house and punch him in the face. Jeez. It's what you should be joining right now, mister. Don't worry, I've brought the dice.
Well, I mean, I don't think anyone else will show up since last time. Not many did.
At least it's us.
Yeah, and some of the names might be sound weird. It's uh some of the names are had different meaning. I mean, different translate from Swedish to um well English. And I might be able to perhaps two or three quiz of based on Norse mythologies, and but it depends. And the other thing is, most of the even though the Vikings who told the stories of the Norse gods and all that, and during the time when the Viking Age happened, none of these stories were never written down, not even on runestones or nothing. They only had it oral tradition. They kept it from telling stories from one generation to the next for several many generations. It wasn't like until 200 years after the Viking Age has ended on Iceland when two authors, one is known, another one is unknown, wrote down the stories of, well, basically what most of the stories have been told. And ever since then, a lot of characters, well, figures, actually had been pretty much being put in movies. Thor from Marvel, Loki from Marvel, Odin, and others. So some of the gods from Norse mythology had been pretty much been used in the Thor's movies and some of the Avengers. And but some of the names might sound very different compared to uh, well, the actual name. And the one of the characters, I think it was she would be Loki's daughter, Hale. She actually appeared in one of the movies. But in Korean mythology, half of her face was beautiful, The other half was ugly. So in the movie, when in the Avengers or Marvel, but she did appear in, she had none of that in her face. She was a complete normal person in her face. I think maybe that was a little bit that the writers they decided to change. That they didn't want to have half of a person, a main villainous story, have half face but beautiful, other half so ugly that yeah, I think that it probably didn't want to do that. And a lot of this gods and goddesses something like that in Norse mythology is actually quite impressive. You know, every single religion in the world has different, how the world started. Like Christianity, there was nothing. God created Earth and all that. And in the Norse mythology, there was basically nothing except for one place where, well, there were no people living there. And I think even like in Bible, there were mention of giants, and that happened in the Norse mythology. There are several types of giants. Frost giants, fire giants, and I
Hmm.
think there were some others, but I'm not sure. But I haven't really studied much about the Norse mythology for a while now. But a total of 81 questions, and well, I would try my best into pronounce the names, and if I not mispronounce the names, it's my fault since, well, it's just the names. But one of the names of the gods, well, is called uh, Balder, but when I looked up on his English name, is not the same spelled, but I would say just call it, which is how it's spelled in my country, though it's just much easier since I really don't know how to pronounce otherwise. Uh, shall we start or wait some longer?
Hmm. Oh
I
jeez.
mean, I'm actually,
Maybe we could start now.
yeah, and if Malachite or any others want to join in, since the link is on Discord and in the comments, so if any one of our friends would eventually looking at this, well, they could do it. So, who gonna go first? You or Kyle?
D20. D20. Well, roll to see who gets highest, higher than whoever gets highest that gets goes first. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm still coughing, so you're gonna have to excuse that. They gotta step in. Uh, 13. Roy wins. All right, so Roy goes first.
All right,
Works for
number
me.
one. In the beginning of the world, before Valhalla was ever even built, the world was divided in two: Muspelheim and Niflheim. Niflheim was the land and where it was located in Norse mythology: A. North, B. West, C. East, or D. South.
Hmm, that's gonna have to be a dice. It was located on a dice? No. Oh god, it's gonna be a long day. One! Alright, that's how it's gonna be today. Alright, A final.
A. They needed to incorrect exactly north.
Well, at least it gave you the answer. Didn't have to give me a one though.
Number two. Between Musselheim and Niflheim, there was a giant void, a huge void called Ginger Gap, and in the void of the world's first giant was born. And what is his name? A. Surt, B. Heimer, C. Luigi, or D. Gymer?
I'll go with B final. It sounds about right.
Wrong, exactly D. Ymer or Gymer. He was the first
Yeah.
giant. Number three, hard question for you, Roy. The first giant who was born in the void Ginnegel Gap got the milk from a certain animal named Anhumbla, who lived there too in a void, and what kind of animal was it? A. Wolf. B. Cow. C. Bear. Or D. Goat.
Because it's the funniest, and because I think that would just be hilarious if it was actually the answer. I'll go with D final.
Uh, is it B?
That's a D, the goat.
Goat? Wrong, exactly B. Cow.
Hmm.
You know, the funny
Ugh.
thing is someone another mythology like Romans. If you've heard about the two brothers, Romulus and Remus, they were raised, well, not entirely raised, but they were at least taken care of a wolf for a while. Number four, a man was later born from the void too, and his name was Bure, and he later had a son, and he would be the direct ancestor of three of the first Asgard gods, and which one of them would be important, and who was it? A. Odin, B. Loki, C. Balder, or D. Thor?
Uh, I'll go with D final.
This is Roy's Kyle's question.
Yep, I'm dancing. You're dancing. I got a 9. Alright, B final.
B. Loki, wrong, exactly A. Odin.
At least that wasn't right either. Hmm.
Number five. In Norse mythology, Odin has a number of brothers, and how many brothers does he have? A. 4, B. 3, C. 8, or D. 2?
I'll say 8.
Final?
Yep.
Wrong, exactly D. 2. Unlike
Damn,
yours,
really?
you guys had like what? The other included Dylan. There was like born being 4 or 5 other brothers. That's a big
Yeah,
family. Oh boy.
you got a few, yeah.
Number yeah. Number six. In the world in Norse mythology, there's a world tree, Yggdrasil, and what kind of tree is it? A. Oak, B. Pine tree, C. Ash, or D. Birch?
Ash tree. You know what? Because I think that sounds awesome. I'm gonna go with C final.
C. Ding ding ding, exactly ash tree.
Of course it is.
I mean, there is actually many. If you look at it, many different relations do in fact had a world tree, and this is surprising that some actually like. If it's like this, like you know that the giant or the great flood that happened in the Bible, it happened actually even in the Sumerian mythology. Same thing. A man and his family saved every single animal, and they were on this giant boat. Same thing happened in the Jewish religion, which later happened in the Bible. And another thing is something similar actually happened in Inca's mythology. It was a great flood, and the world was repopulated by a group of people that survived from something similar. So they have been a great flood part and event in the mythology in two different continents, and they were no contact between them. That's surprising. Okay, number seven. The world tree Yggdrasil has a number of roots that bind the world together. How many roots does it have? A. 4, B. 3, C. 5, or D. 10?
This is your question, right? Yep.
It's 7.
Yeah. No, no, it's yours. got it. Um, hmm. Just for fun, I'm gonna roll it. Can it be two? I don't know. I'll go with five.
C, 5 ain't wrong. It's actually B, 3 roots.
Dang.
Ooh, number 8. After the first giant was killed, part of his body was used to create the world. Of the body, they used it to make Midgard, which is the home of the humans. The head became the sky and was held up by dwarves, but how many dwarves carried the head? A, 5. B, uh, oh boy. B, 7. C, 2. Or D, 3.
Let's be the strongest dwarves in the world. I'm rolling. He's rolling. It fell. Of course it did. Alright, where's it landed on? 6? Alright. B, final.
Uh, B ain't wrong. It's actually D, 3. You know, it's surprising that it was actually Odin and his brothers that actually killed this giant, and they used every single part of him. The body itself became as the land. Part of this and this blood became rivers, lakes, ocean, and I think the teeth became part of the mountain, the rocks, and some part of the others became the mountains and all that. I mean, I didn't know much part of that, but it's
Uh,
surprising.
they used all of his body.
Well, they only mentioned in this as far as I know, that I saw this uh type of cartoon version of the series, how the world was created. I know that at least the blood was to use to make the ocean, rivers. The head became the sky, which the stars and all that, and um, part of this body was even made to create the mountains. Another, but of course, in the mythology, I don't think that it actually went by detail of which part of the body which became what. So it's but I don't when it mentioned the head, I think that like more likely even by the eyes would have been stars or something, but I don't know. It's not much on detail in exactly sense, considering the list that this was over 1,000 years ago when these stories were first created. And even if they were detailed in how the word each part of the world of the first giant's body was used, and since I said earlier, this story was not even written down during the Viking Age. There wasn't until like 2 centuries after the Viking Age was ended when the stories were written down. So if there were any details mentioned of exactly which detail of the body was used, may have been forgotten over time. So it seems like that happens. I mean, like this: if Roy tells one story to say something to Kyle, and Kyle tells the same story to Dylan, and he tells the same story to some other person he knows, maybe to his girlfriend, and he adds something, or he changed some part of the story, and she tells the same story to her family, and she may add something different, and so on and so on. So if you heard the same story again from, say, if let's say if Dylan hears the same story from one of her friends who had been told the same story, and he realized that's the same story, but a lot of things have been changed, and that happens. And since nothing is actually written down by the original story, and it's over time, despite having been told by the same story for generations, there's always some changes, even the original story. So if you don't have it written down, There will always be some changes. Um, let's continue though. Number nine. Did the an did the animal at Humbla live off ice and frost by licking from the rocks? Yes or no?
This year or me? I think
This
it's
was Roy.
me.
Yeah, it is.
All right. I'll say yes.
Ding ding ding. Correct. Exactly. Yes.
Wait.
Here we go. Number 10. The giant Uber's blood was turned into rivers, lakes, and ocean. His flesh became the earth itself, and of his bones was used to make something. And what was the mountains being used to make? A. The bones. The moon. B. The mountains. C. Stars. Or D. Trees.
The mountains?
Final.
Yeah.
Ding ding ding. Exactly B. Mountains.
Wait.
Number 11. In the Norse mythology, the two first humans was named uh, Ask and Umbla. Ask
Great
in my
names.
country, yeah. The question, the name Ask, which is your country in English, is known how to ask the mentions like asking, but in my language, that is actually how we spelled ash. Well, the tree ash, and um, and Ask was they were made of two trees. Ask was made of ash, same as the world tree. And what kind were Embla made of? A. Oak. B. Pine tree. C. Elm. Or D. Birch.
One dozen. Use dozen. Come on, I need a new pair of something. You hit mine. Well, would you look at that? I gave you a 16. That doesn't count. C, final.
C. Ding ding ding. Correct. Actually, elm tree.
Would you look at that? Too good,
Number
this.
12. Number 12. Odin has a horse, and his horse is so special since it has more than four legs. How many legs does it have? A. 8. B. 6. C. 12. Or D. 10.
I'm going with the most bizarre. I'm going with 12. I think that's C. So C, final.
C.
Whatever,
Ain't
12.
wrong. So
Whatever,
actually,
12.
C is 12,
12.
but it's wrong. It's actually A. 8.
No, it's double, not triple.
Yeah, but still though, a horse with 8 legs it's pretty bizarre. Number 13, trick question. Did any giants live in Midgard? Yes or no?
No.
Ding ding ding, correct exactly no.
You're so, so certain about that.
Number 14, Ford had a wagon that he used to fly in the sky, which he made thunder, and his wagon was pulled by two animals, and what kind of animals was it? A. Goats. B. Wolves. C. Dogs. Or D. Bears.
You know what? I'm just gonna go with the silliest ones because I think it'd be the funnest. Yeah, the funniest one with this would be bears because just imagine that they're just flying bears. Why not? So sure, why not? D, final.
Wrong, exactly. A. Goats.
That's pretty bizarre too, but just imagine that. Just Thor flying around with bears.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't be
Insane
surprised
at the
though. I mean, considering that
Uh,
if the other, I mean, consider from this, if there were other gods in Norse mythology, like Odin, if he had a wagon, he likely would have something that would symbolize strong, like maybe bears or maybe wolves. And for and as for four goats, well, those are big goats. I mean, he's a god of thunder, and goats, well, he's one of the strongest gods in the mythology. And considering to that, I would have been more like say rather than having wolves or bears or something strong animal to as a representing bravery, strong. But goats, like even the full grown male goats, can be strong, but it's as it is. Number 15. Even the lovely goddess of love, Freya, with the Norse mythology, has a wagon and is pulled by two animals. What kind of animal is it? A. Wolves. B. Cats. C. Horse. Or D. Bears.
he's dashing. D final.
What?
D.
D. Bears. Ain't wrong. Exactly. Is B. Cats.
I
Two
didn't even
lovely
realize it's
cats.
the exact same thing that Kyle. This is just what happens.
Number 16. Hard question. Within the Norse mythology, there is a giant who took Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, and would return it in return if he could marry a goddess. And which goddess was it? A. Idun, B. Frigg, C. Freya, or D. Sif?
No, I'm dicing. Roy, I got the exact same number you got. Oh, that's apparently the exact same. I don't know. Whatever. All right. D final.
D. Sif? Ain't wrong. Actually, C. Freya.
Wait, you said D was C, and it said C was the answer. Half point.
Number 17. How are Loki and Odin brothers to each other? A. Half brothers, B. Blood oath brothers, C. Step brothers, or D. Foster brothers?
I don't know. I'll say Foster Brothers. I'll go with D.
D. Ding ding ding, exactly, Foster brothers.
Yo, I'm too good at this. You know too much about this stuff. Why did
Number
not?
18. Thor has children with his wife. And how many children does he have? A. 3, B. 1, C. 2, or D. 4?
We'll go with the most. D for final.
Eh, wrong, exactly, C. 2.
Never mind. It's apparently divided by two.
19. Which one of the male gods were the most beautiful one? A. Thor, B. Tyr, C. Heimdall, or D. Balder?
Say Thor.
Yeah, Thor.
Yes, the most beautiful god, Thor. Remember that dude looking very beautiful? Is this me or is this you? I think it's me.
19. Which is yours?
19. No, never mind. That's yours. All right, hold on. Ah, stop giving me D's. He just wants to give you D's. This is how it goes. Whatever. D final.
Uh, D.
Yeah, D.
Ding ding ding, exactly, Balder.
Sweet. If you're gonna win by getting D's every single time, I'm gonna yell at you. But see, I try, Mister. Mr.
Number
Console.
Number 20, hard question. According to mythology, the Asgard god Heimdall has more than one mother. How many mothers does he have? A, 3, B, 2, C, 9, or D, 4?
I'm gonna go with the most. C final. He has 9.
Ding, 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 exactly 9.
Does he actually have 9?
Yeah, he has 9 mothers, and I don't know how that's even possible. If there was 2 mothers, like, if we're like, one is actual birth mother, the other would be, like a stepmother. But
Listen,
Heimdall was, yeah, for some
it
reason,
was
Heimdall was born to between 9 women, like 9
what the
mothers. I don't
war.
know how. I have no idea how that's even possible.
Listen, he was
Another thing is,
born 9 times.
um,
What? He was
yeah,
born
I
9
don't really
times.
know.
He died 9 times and then got reborn by 9 girls for some reason. Don't worry about it. Why does that make sense? Mm.
Yeah,
Anyway,
and
what's the next question?
number 21, trick question. Heimdall has a guard duty over the bridge that connects Midgard and Valhalla, and if the giants would try to invade, he would use a certain item to warn Valhalla. And was it a horn? Yes or no?
Horn? Hmm. By the way, what were we gonna say before? Swedish?
Hmm?
Were you gonna say something before?
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised at how Heimdall has 9 mothers. I don't know how that's even possible. I mean, you know, I don't think they actually explained how it's even possible between 9 mothers. uh, mythology. Don't question it. Sometimes you know to get the
It's
answer.
just some. It's just something. I'm gonna roll.
Yeah.
Wait, is this your question?
No, it's yours.
No, I got the 9 mothers thing. All right, right. Ah, stop giving me these! Oh God, I can't take it. I just want to roll a thing that isn't D related. Well, damn. Give me a 19. This would be useful in an actual Dungeons and Dragons game, but not this. Oh, whatever. All right, D final. Been
This is
working
yes
out
and no
so.
question.
Oh, well, in that case, that would be no.
Ain't wrong exactly. Yes. You know, Heimdall using a horn to blow from his part of the bridge, but if it's like it's not like a trumpet, like it's a, it, it's not like not a saxophone, but it's a um, not like a trombone, but those big those the tuba.
I think so.
Yeah, it is something similar to as a tuba,
Mm.
kind of in a similar design. But this was, like I said, this was made centuries before that particular instrument was even invented. So that's surprising. Number 22. Thor has a son that he had before he married his wife, and who did it he had the son with? A. Human, B. Dwarf, C. Giant, D. Asgard goddess.
Actually, I do know this, but this isn't my question, so. But guess what? I actually know it too. It was a human.
You say human? What do you say, Roy? If you get a guess.
No, I actually would have gone human too.
Well, A. Wrong exactly. C. Giant.
Oh, never mind. Oh, but
Yeah,
wait, is that? Hold on, which god was that? Because I remember like a video saying one of the
Thor.
gods transformed into the it was Thor. Did you say Thor? I
For
thought you said,
yeah,
well, then yeah,
yeah,
it would
and
be human, wouldn't it?
maybe. I
Hmm.
mean, I might have been wrong, but I might look it up though. But in as in like in it's like in the Greek mythology, Hercules, he's the son of a human and Zeus, which makes him a demigod or half god. And but in a Norse mythology, if a god had a son or an offspring with a human, it was still considered as a demigod, but they were not given position within the Valhalla, at least as far as I know. But though not, I can say this: not everyone in Valhalla is was actually born in Asgard. Some actually could have been born at a different place, but eventually accepted in as an Asgard god.
Hmm.
Okay, number 23. In Norse mythology, Thor has a number of brothers. How many brothers does he have? A. 7, B. 5, C. 4, or D. 3?
I go for the most. I'll go with 5.
5, B. Wrong, exactly. A. 7.
Oh, I thought
So
that was
yeah,
the most.
yeah. So Thor has
My
7
bad.
brothers. That's a lot of them. Number 24. Frey and Freya wasn't born as Asgard gods from the start. Where were they from? A. Midgard, B. Vanheim, C. Jotunheim, or D. Alfheim?
I'm dancing. 8. All right. I'm going with B. Final.
B is a ball.
Yep. B is in ball.
Ding ding ding, correct, exactly. B. Vanheim.
Sweet. Must feel nice being able to actually get other answers besides D.
And Jotunheim is actually the place where the giants live. Alfheim, I'm not so sure exactly what is. It is part of the world, but I don't remember exactly which. I think that's where the elves lives. I don't know. Number 25. Frey and Freya father Njord is the god of something, and what is it? A. Wind, B. Forest, C. Ocean, or D. Rivers?
That does. Imagine if you get D again. I swear to God. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I'm getting so sick of these. All right. C. Final.
Ocean? Ding ding ding, exactly. C. Ocean.
I was gonna say if it's D, I'm gonna lose it. I thought I was gonna be D for a second. Dear
That
God.
would have been fun though. Number 26. The goddess Freya were married to a man named Ud, and they had children. How many children do they have together? A. 2, B. 4, C. 3, or D. 5?
I'll go with D. Final.
D5 ain't wrong exactly. A2. There
Hmm.
were some there are some speculations that Ud could actually be Odin in disguise, but no one knows for sure. Okay, number 27. How many times has Njord been married? A 3, B 1, C 2, or D 5?
I'll go with 5 finally. Final. You can't talk.
D 5 ain't wrong exactly. C 2.
Oh damn.
Hard question number 20 for 28. According to mythology, Loki cut off Sif's hair, and Thor was so furious at him, and Loki promised that he would repay, and he went to a blacksmith to have him make new hair for Sif, and what it was measured at metal, and what metal was it? A. Silver, B. Bronze, C. Gold, or D. Brass?
I'm dancing. I don't know what it could be. 12 nets. Alright, C, final.
C, gold. Ding, ding, ding. Correct, exactly C. Number
Nice.
29. The blacksmith who made the replacement hair for Steve, who were they? A. Giants. B. Dwarfs. C. Vanir. Or D. Human.
Doubt the human will be able to do it, so I know it's not D. You get D anyway. Nope, I got C. Alright, C, final. That'd be C
C.
anyway, so
Ain't wrong, exactly B. Dwarfs.
at least I knew it
I
wasn't
mean,
D.
I mean, okay. Since I don't know of this, but in many different folklores, like Scandinavian folklore, even after that, dwarves was known for the skills as blacksmiths.
Hmm.
Number 30. Sif had been married before, and from her previous marriage, she had a number of children, and how many? A. 1, B. 3, C. 2, or D. 4.
D, final.
D. 4 ain't wrong, exactly A. 1.
You said many children, though.
Well, I mean, who knows? Not every single gods in the Norse mythology was never married. So, number 31. In Norse mythology, one day came Loki back to Valhalla after being on a journey, and he had a wolf cub with him, and all gods loved it. But it got bigger eventually. Only one male god was brave enough to feed the wolf, and who was it? A. Tyr, B. Odin, C. Thor, or D. Loki.
I'll say D, final. It makes the most sense.
Um,
Isn't Loki like god of chaos or something like that?
ain't wrong exactly. A. Tyr.
You saying that's just god of chaos or what? Oh, I think
Loki
you're saying
is
that's
the
the
god of
answer.
chaos. Yeah, Loki is the god of chaos and mischief, but it wasn't him that he fed the wolf. I don't know if you actually imagine this, but this was a normal wolf cub as the normal size as the cub would be, but it grew bigger and bigger and bigger. It even grew past the average height of an average wolf. This grew as big as, I mean, I don't know exactly how tall, but I would say maybe almost tall as a bus in height, like a school bus.
Jesus, that's a big fucking wolf.
Yeah, it is one of the biggest. Number 32. Odin's horse Sleipnir's mother was was one of the male gods who used a horse disguise. And which god was it? A. Thor, B. Odin, C. Loki, or D. Heimdall?
C, final.
Loki, ding ding ding, correct, exactly C.
Oh wait, give me one sec. I'll just points.
Yeah, so basically he borrowed this disguise from one of the other gods in order to, well, do something. And that's why Sleipnir was born with 8 legs rather than 4.
Hmm.
Number 33, trick question. The bridge that connects Midgard and Valhalla is it a rainbow? Yes or no?
Yes.
Ding ding ding, exactly yes. Number 34. Odin has two birds named Hugin and Munin that travels around to act like Odin's extended eyes. And which type of birds are they? A. Eagle. B. Raven. C. Falcon. Or D. Hawk.
And that's a dice for me. It even bounced around. Look at that. All right, B final. Whatever B was. I think it was Raven.
You said
So
B.
yeah, I'll go. Yeah.
It's Raven. You get a point. And Hugin and Munin actually means thought and memory. Well, separately at least.
Hmm.
Number 35. When the Fenrir wolf was large and Asgard decided to put a chain on him, but everyone they managed to put on the wolf bite one of the male gods' left arm off. And which god was it? A. Balder, B. Heimdall, C. Tyr, or D. Hermod?
Okay. B final.
Is that B?
Yep.
Wrong, exactly. C. Tyr. And I mean,
Damn.
he lost his left arm in one bite.
Well, damn.
Um,
I mean, damn.
and
I
this,
mean, what?
yeah, and this chain, you may think like those. Look, you know, if you've seen those on those big cruise ship or giant tank ships, you may think that type of chain, but I say it's not even that thick. That chain was thin, almost like a fishing line. That thin were chain on this giant wolf, but it was magically enhanced. That was magically made so that it would even break, which is surprising. But I mean, this is supposed to be a mythological world where magic was a very common thing among the gods. But anyway, number 36. The Asgard put something in Fenrir's wolf to prevent him from biting someone else. And what did they put in his mouth? A. Spear. A. Arrow. D. C. Dagger. Or D. Sword.
I'll go with. Wait, is this you or me?
It's yours.
All right. I'll go with. I'll go with D final.
Sword. Ding ding ding. Exactly. Sword. Number 37. Trick question. Did a river cause of the Fenris drool after God put something in his mouth? Yes or no?
Yes.
Ding ding ding. Exactly. Yes. Number 38. In the world tree, there is an animal called, okay, this is how I try to pronounce the name. Ratascore travels along the tree branches to deliver messages back and forward between the dragon, Nidhogg, and a bird. And what kind of animal is Ratascore? A. Bird. B. Squirrel. C. Rat. Or D. Lizard.
B final.
B. Squirrel. Ding ding ding. Exactly, squirrel. And let's say this particular animal is kind of doing a lot of mischief. Number 39, trick question. Does all gods of Asgard live in Odin's big palace Valhalla? Yes or no?
Um. Yes.
Ain't wrong. Actually, no. They have on their own. They all have their own homes.
Dang.
Number 40. Asgard had The Asgard gods had to eat a certain fruit to maintain their immortality, otherwise they would age and die. And what fruit was it? A. Pear. B. Strawberry. C. Grapes. Or D. Apple.
Wait, hold on. Can you repeat the question?
Asgard gods had to eat a certain fruit to maintain their immortality, otherwise they would start to age and die. What fruit was it? Pear, strawberry, grapes, or apple?
I'm gonna go with the apple.
Final?
Yup.
Ding ding ding, exactly. The apple.
I had a
They only
feeling.
eat it. Yeah, it's something though. I mean, considering in the Bible, apple was considered a bad fruit, considering that when the tree of knowledge, which is in the apple, but in Greek in this mythology, is a symbol for immortality for the gods.
Makes sense.
Number 41. One of the Asgard goddess but responsible for looking after the immortal fruit for the other gods. And who was it? A. Eden. B. Frigg. C. Freya. Or D. Sif.
C, final.
C. Ain't wrong. It's actually
Yep.
A. Eden. Eden.
Darn.
Number 42. Trick question. In the Norse mythology, the sun and moon was driving the sky in a wagon and was pulled by horses while the wagon was chased by the Fenrir wolf. Or, no, wait, chased by wolves. Yes or no?
Yes.
Ding, 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 exactly, yes. Number 43. At the World Tree, there is a well which is guarded by the head of a giant Mimir, and many want to drink from this well for a reason. It's not a normal well, and what does the well's water give a person? A. Immortality. B. Wisdom. C. Super strength. D. Fast healing.
It gives them youth. It's the fountain of youth. I don't think so. Uh, I don't know. I guess immortality makes the most sense, so I'll go with that. Whatever immortality was.
Immortality?
Yeah.
Ain't wrong. That was actually A. It was wrong, but it was B. Wisdom. I mean,
Ah.
why would this well give immortality when it gods is the fruit in game immortality?
No, no.
Yeah, that would be a little bit safe still, but number 44. At the end at the World Tree Yggdrasil, there is a number of wells. How many wells is there at the tree? A 4, B 2, C 3, D 5.
I'll go with D, final.
Is that
D is what I went with.
D? D ain't wrong, exactly C 3. Number 45. There is a group of women that's
Alright.
called there is a group of women called Norns, and they have a few responsibilities among giving the world tree pure water, and another of their duties is what? A. Determine a human's lifespan. B. Take care of the immortal fruit. C. Giving blessing at Asgard weddings. Or D. Reading love poems to the gods.
Uh, a final.
Ding ding ding, exactly A. Determine a human's lifespan. They are literally
I
using.
didn't even hear the question. I still got it
Well,
right.
they were this. Yeah, but they're a group of women called Norns. They had a few responsibilities, which among to give the world tree pure water, and the other duties was to determine the human's lifespan. They used that by literally threads. If one thread is long, you will have a long lifespan. If it's short, well, your life will be short. If the thread is tangled, like a complete mess, then your life will be a complete mess. Like a lot of accidents, wrong turns, and all that. And it's nothing that they can do something about it, like stretch it out or something. It will be like that. Like say if Roy would have been born as with a mess tangled thread, he will have a lot of accidents, like many things that not like lethal, I think, but you know, maybe falling downstairs or hit his head in the in the door multiple times in a day, in a week, something like that. Or I mean, it's just one of how the things happened. Number 46. The goddess Idun is married to a male god. He is one of the Odin's sons. And which one of the Odin's sons is Idun married with? A. Balder, C. Hermod, C. Bragi, or D. Hoder.
We'll go with B final.
You said B.
Yep.
B ain't wrong exactly. C.
Hmm. All right.
Number 47. Odin's son Bragi has an important role within Valhalla, and what is his duty at the palace? A. Poet, B. Cook, C. Warrior, or D. Odin's bodyguard.
No, this one's way too specific. I'm going with D final.
Hmm?
D final.
D. Wrong, exactly. A. Poet.
Really?
Yep.
I would have at least gone B or C, but okay.
Number 48. In Norse mythology, there's a group of women called Valkyrs, and they have an important role in Asgard. And what is the role? A. Odin's personal bodyguards. B. Valhalla's bodyguards. C. Bringing souls of fallen Vikings to Valhalla. Or D. Singers of Valhalla.
D final.
What?
D.
D. Ain't wrong, actually. C. Bringers of souls of fallen Vikings.
Hmm.
Number 49. Freya's brother Freyr has an important role within Norse mythology. And what is his role in the mythology? A. God of fertility. B. God of harvest. C. God of rain. Or D. God of luck.
Uh, I'll say God of luck.
Ain't wrong exactly. A, god of fertility. Even though
Hmm.
he is basically he's a farmer. Okay, number 50. In the world tree, there is a bird which is making something in the human world of Midgard, and what is it? A. Creating winds. B. Controlling the birds. C. Controlling time. Or D. Bringing luck to humans.
I'll say controlling time because it's kick ass.
C. Ain't wrong exactly. A. Creating winds.
That's pretty cool too. It's pretty cool because it's wind. No.
Okay, number 50, number 51. Trick question. Are Loki married with the Norse mythology? Yes or no?
I'll say yes.
Ding ding ding. Correct. Exactly. Yes.
Wait. I broke even. We're tied. Oh yeah, look at that. We totally are.
Number 52. What kind of bird is sitting on the tree branches in the world tree Yggdrasil? A. Hawk. B. Crow. C. Eagle. Or D. Raven.
I'll say B final.
Crow.
Yeah.
Ain't wrong. Actually, C. Eagle.
Dang.
Have you guys ever tried any candy rats?
What?
Have you guys ever tried candy rats? I mean, candy
Candy
shaped as
rat?
rats. Yeah, candy shaped as rats.
I don't think so.
Pretty good. It's a very common thing here in Sweden.
Lewis probably would. He probably would, yeah.
I think that they are actually selling two kinds, small ones and a big one. Like a big that's, I think it's something that only been sometimes can be bought at a bakery or something, or even used as lottery prize. And this giant candy rat has a weight of, I think, between 4 or 6 pounds, something. Is a big one. I've seen some of them in real life, but never even ever tried. If I eat one now, I probably only eat the tail, not more. Okay, number 53 here. How many are the how many are in the group of Norns that take care of the world tree? Yggdrasil. A 4, B 5, C 3, or D 6.
I'll go with the most. D final.
D 6 ain't wrong, actually. C 3.
Damn.
Number 54, hard question. Loki has a daughter which is named Hel, but she isn't allowed to live in Asgard with the other gods since half of her face is beautiful and the other half is ugly. But she was given a realm to rule. And which realm was it? A. Jotunheim, B. Midgard, C. Elheim, or D. Muspelheim? Muspelheim.
I don't know. We'll go randomly for. I'll say B final.
Midgard?
Yep.
Ain't wrong, actually C. Elheim. Um,
Oh, damn.
yeah, so I know what these places, different places are in the mythology. Jotunheim, where the giants lives. Midgard, where the humanity lives. Elheim is basically underworld, or in our another term, hell. Helheim is basically is a Norse mythology version of hell, and
Makes sense.
Muspelheim, yeah, and Muspelheim is where the fire giants lives. So there are many different places. Number 56, 55, sorry. Loki has a number of children with different mothers. How many children does he have? A, 4, B, 8, C, 6, or D, 7?
Can you say the answers again?
A, 4, B, 8, C, 6, or D, 7?
That's what I thought you said. All right, 8 final or B.
B, 8, ain't wrong. It's actually C, 6.
All right.
Number 56. Loki is the father of the Midgard serpent, which is surrounding the world by biting itself in the tail. Who is the mother of the Midgard serpent? A. Asgard goddess, B. Human, C. Giant, or D. Dwarf?
Also, you took my question. Oh, did I? Sorry. That's whatever. I'll just take 2 then. All right. I don't know. I'll go with D final.
C.
Yeah.
Giant, and incorrect, exactly C. Giant.
Wait.
Number 57. In mythology, Thor went with Tyr to his family, which include his stepfather, giant Hymir. So he has a stepfather, which is a giant, not biologically related to one, so he doesn't count. But they were there. They went there to get something they needed for Hymir, from Hymir, and what was it? A. Meat. B. Brewing cauldron. C. Gold. Or D. Arrows.
Hmm. I don't know. I'll go with C final. Makes most sense to me.
What?
C.
C.
Yes.
Ain't wrong. Exactly B. Brewing cauldron. I think they were supposed to be using it for some sort of ceremony or type of party or fest or feast in the Valhalla, if I remember correctly. But I'm gonna look it up later. Number 58. When Tyr and Thor went there, Thor didn't want to be recognized, so he changed himself to as a young man. Since the giants were well, he since Thor and the giants were well basically natural enemies. He killed giants a lot of times, so that one is to disguise himself. Hymir was going to fish, and Thor was allowed to go along, and he was told to get bait, get bait. Thor didn't get worms as a bait, which is normally that most people do use, but he got something else. What was it? A. Bread. B. Sausage. C. Ox head. Or D. Big fish.
Hmm. Is this my question or is this yours? I think it's
It's
yours.
58.
58, and that's actually mine. How many questions are in this quiz? 100?
81.
81?
81.
Alright. Um, I don't know. I'll go with C final.
Huh?
C.
C.
Yes, C.
Ox head. Ding ding ding. Exactly. C. Ox head.
Nice.
Number 59.
Nice
Trick
again.
question. Did Hymir allowed Thor to row the boat out? Yes or no?
No.
Ain't wrong. Exactly. Yes.
Never
Number
mind.
60. Hymir and Thor started to fish, and Thor used his special bait. He managed to get something on the hook. And what was it? A big fish. B, a shark. C, a whale. Or D, or Midgard serpent.
That's too specific. It's gotta be that. D final.
Midgard serpent? Ding ding ding, exactly D. Number 61. Odin's son Balder had terrible nightmares where he would end up dying, and one of the gods traveled around the world to asking every living and unliving things to not harm Balder. Which of the gods took the task? A. Freya. B. Frigg. C. Thor. Or D. Odin.
C final.
C. Thor.
Yep.
Wrong, exactly. B. Frigg.
Damn.
Number 62, trick question. After the task was done, could the gods throw knives, swords, and spears on Balder without harming him? Yes or no?
Y- yes.
Ding ding ding, exactly, yes. No matter what they throw at him, if they're throwing a fry pan at his head, or even shot arrows or spears, or even use an axe on him, or even you put a lot of, heck, even you put him in a place where and nuke him, he would have survived without any scratch on him. That it would have been. And that but this when Frigg asked unliving things, it could have been stones, unliving things like rocks could have been asked. Number 63, hard question. Everything in the world had promised not to harm Balder, except one thing wasn't asked. Loki had learned and decided to make an arrow to trick Balder's blind brother Hodur to shoot him with the arrow. And what kind of thing was it made of? A, what was it to use as an what was the thing that used as an arrow? A, arrow of gold. B, arrow of mistletoe. C, arrow of silver. Or D, arrow of iron.
I think it was the iron one. I'll go with that.
Final?
Yeah, D final.
Wrong, exactly. B, arrow of mistletoe. Yeah, so mistletoe was the only object that was not to be asked, but it's never been asked to be not to harm. Number 64. After Balder had arrived at Elheim, his parents wanted him back, so Odin sent one of his other sons to bring Balder back to Asgard. But which one of his sons did he send? A. Bragi, B. Thor, C. Hodur, or D. Hermod?
A final.
And wrong, exactly D. Hermod. Hodur may not be possible, after all, he was blind. Bragi, he was a poet, but I don't think he wouldn't hesitate to obey his father to travel to that place. But if Hoder traveled alone, yeah, it wouldn't much sense, even though they used Sleipnir. And here's the thing, no one else, except for Odin and maybe his sons, could ride on Sleipnir. If a normal human would, it wouldn't work. He wouldn't even allow it. But yeah, so Hermod was the one that actually went there to ask for Balder's return, since the arrow hit right through his heart and he died instantly. Despite he did see in his nightmares what he ended up dying, and actually came true despite Frigg travel around, but unfortunately it never happened. Number 65, and by the way, you actually took Roy's question at number 63.
Oh, whoops. Sorry. Consider it revenge for you taking mine. That's whatever. I can just double it.
Number 65. The Helheim's ruler, Hel, daughter of Loki, would allow Balder to return to Valhalla, but only if everything cried for Balder. But everything did cry except for one giant, but it turned out to be Loki in disguise. Yes or no?
Told us about this, didn't you? Yeah, you did. If I remember right, that should be yes. Final.
Ding ding ding, correctly, yes. Yeah, so basically, Frigg did actually travel around the world again to ask everything living and unliving beings to cry for Balder to be able to return, because Hel had to told Hermod that Odin's son was only allowed to return to the living world if everyone and everything, living and unliving things, would cry for him. If one simple thing, if it was just one living person or an unliving thing, didn't cry, he wouldn't have been able to return. So, and of course, Loki, when he found out about this, well, he disguised himself as a giant, and as this what happened, he refused to cry because, in according to the stories, when Frigg asked why, what, and as Loki in disguise said back to, what has he made for some, what he had done for me in return. I mean, he was the most beloved of all everyone. He was the most beautiful god. According to that, he was the white, blonde, blue-eyed god, and so he was often referred as the white god. And yeah, so he had remained in Helheim until by the end of the world. Number 66. In Norse mythology, there is a ring, a gold ring called Draupnir, Draupnir, that creates exact copies of itself. And how many copies it does it make each time? A 8, B 5, C 10, or D 14?
That's a leap. I'm going with Z final.
Hmm? D?
Yeah, D.
Wrong, exactly. A 8. Number 67.
Mm.
The gold ring Draupnir doesn't make exact copies itself every day. It goes a number of days until it makes copies itself next time. How many days must it pass between each time? A. 5 days. B. 12 days. C. 9 days. Or D. 14 days.
Hmm. How many copies does it make for itself again?
8 per each time.
8. Right.
So,
In that
like
case,
how many? Well, this is how many days that until next time will create another 8 copies itself. So, how many days will it take between each pass? Is it 12? Is it 5 days, 12 days, 9 days, or 14 days?
well, I'm gonna go with C final.
C. 9 days.
Yeah, it makes the most sense.
Ding ding ding. Exactly 9 days.
Yeah, because that's the closest to 8, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Number 68. Who created the magical gold ring Draupnir? A. Humans. B. Giants. C. Dwarves. Or D. Asgard god?
C final?
C.
Yeah.
Ding ding ding. Exactly dwarves. Number 69. The ones that created the Draupnir did also make Thor's hammer Mjolnir too, yes or no?
Yes.
Ding ding ding. Exactly yes. Number 70. After it turned out that Loki was the one who gave Hooters the arrow that killed Balder, the other gods were so furious on him, so they tied him to a rock where he would stay until Ragnarok by the end of the world. But one animal was dripping its poison on him as an extra suffering. What kind of animal was it? A. Spider. B. Snake. B. Bat. Or D. Ants.
I'm pretty sure it was this. Wait, is this my question or Roy's?
It's yours.
All right, I'm pretty sure it was the snake, so I'm gonna say B final.
You said snake. B. Ding ding ding. Exactly, snake.
At
Okay, number 71. In Valhalla, the gods had an animal which called Sarimner. It gives its meat to all the gods and fallen warriors and returns alive each dawn. And what kind of animal was it? A. Cow. B. Rooster. C. Pig. Or D. Bear. Is it cow, rooster, pig, or bear?
I'm thinking. Hold on. I'll go with the pig.
Pig? Ding ding ding, exactly, pig. Yeah, so basically in this in mythology, they eat all the remains, all the pig, even when it's alive, and each single new dawn, when the first sunlight hits the pig, it is reborn. This recycle repeats every single day. And after all, I mean the Vikings did in fact favored a pig so much because pigs are a good food supply in different times of need, like winter, something like that. Number 72. Even in Valhalla, there's an animal that gave the favorite drink, mead, to warriors and gods. And what kind of animal was it? And if you ask, mead is actually like an alcoholic bridge drink for the Vikings. The animals was A cow, B goat, C moose, or D wolf.
Hmm. I don't know. I'll go with C because it's weird. They're all weird. A fair point, I guess. But yeah, I'm going C final.
Is that C?
I didn't say C.
Wrong, exactly B goat. Number 73. Frey had an animal like many other Asgard gods, and it was called. Okay, I will try to pronounce the name well enough, but its name was Gulin Bursti. I think it is pronounced. What kind of animal was it? A. Dog. B. Wolf. C. Boar or D. Cat.
Hmm. Sorry. Uh, so I'll go. You know what? I'm gonna say it's the bar. C final.
Is it boar? Ding ding, exactly boar. Number 74. Trick question. Frey's animal Gullimbursti have a special fur that glows in the dark? Yes or no?
Yes.
Ding ding ding, exactly yes. It actually glows in the dark. Number 75. Hard question. After after Loki had cut Sif's hair and was for being furious at them, in order to repay what he did, he went to two blacksmiths in order to make the new hair and other gifts for the gods. One of the gifts was called Gungnir, and it was for Odin. And what kind of weapon was it? A. Sword. B. Dagger. C. Arrow. Or D. Spear.
I'll say it was a spear.
You said spear?
Yep.
You didn't exactly these. It is a spear.
How did you know that? I didn't. Alright.
Number 76.
Also, you answered my
Wait.
question again.
Yeah, you did.
Oops. Sorry. Uh, this.
one of the one of the other special gifts that the blacksmiths made for the gods was a ship called Skidbladnir, and which god was it given to? A. Tyr, B. Thor, C. Freyr, or D. Balder?
I'll go with C.
Freyr? Ding ding ding, exactly C. Number
Wait.
77. The ship Skidbladnir can be folded and fit in someone's pocket, yes or no?
Yes.
Ding ding ding, exactly yes.
Of
Number
course it can.
78. Yeah, it is surprising though. I mean, it in another thing about this, there is actually another ship in the Norse mythology. It's made of um, dead people's fingernails. Yeah, creepy, but it's true. It's it's bit morbid. In reality, I don't think a ship of actual fingernails would even float. But uh, yeah. So I don't think anyone even would in the world real life would even make a boat made of fingernails. Ugh, that would be too creepy. Anyways, number 78. The Asgard god named Forseti was the son of the goddess Nana and a male god, which male god was the father of Forseti. A. Thor, B. Balder, C. Bragi, or D. Odin.
Hmm. Is this me or is this Kyle?
It's Kyle's.
Thank you for asking because I didn't remember. I don't know. I'll go with A final.
A. Thor ain't wrong exactly Balder. Number 79. The Asgard god named Forseti was known as a god of something. And what was it? A. God of peace. B. God of stars. C. God of justice. Or D. God of travelers.
I'll go with God of Justice because it sounds awesome. C final.
Ding ding ding, exactly C. God of justice.
Sweet.
Number 80. The god, the Asgard god Tyr was known for something. And what was it that it was known for? A. God of light. B. God of war. C. God of wolf. D. God of peace.
I'll go with the God of Peace.
God of peace ain't wrong exactly B. God of war. Number
Yeah.
81 trick question and the final question. Were the Asgard god Tyr married? Yes or no?
No.
Ding ding ding, exactly no. He was never married. Yeah, uh,
Hey, with
so
that, ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner.
well, I mean, of all the gods in Norse mythology, there are some of them are very unique characters. Tyr, his stepfather was a giant, and since normally giants didn't live in Midgard or Asgard, they were well. The reason why the Asgard didn't allow any giants to live there because they were mortal enemies. So they fought against each other constantly. And here's one detail about the Midgard servant. If it somehow loses grip, if it stops biting itself in the tail, the world would end. And Odin, he had known the world was going to end. and that in fact he also would die. Thor died. Tyr died. Many of the gods died at the end of the by the end of the world at the time. So, but Thor's two sons that what he had with his goddess wife Sif survived, and two humans did survive. So they repopulated after the battle. The whole world was burned and sank in the ocean, but itself once again rise in from the ocean to our clean, flourished world. And also, the wolves that hunted the sun and the moon managed to caught them in time and ate them alive. But the moon and sun was reborn. And the Norse mythology is a very interesting mythology that consists of many different unique characters. Like Thor is a god of thunder, but also sometimes is regarded as god of fertility. Considering that this is a god that the farmers pray to, because with rain it comes a good harvest. And Freyr, which is god of also harvest, or in this case fertility, but in the mythology, he and Freya, which is a brother and sister, were actually married at one point. And it's not unlike any other mythologies. If you go to Egyptian mythology, many of the gods and goddesses could actually be married each other. Because Isis and Osiris were brother and sister, and husband and wife. And it's so many different, something like that, similarities. And Malachite is actually in the comments. He said, I was busy at least I'm here now. He also said Egyptian, Chinese, and Celtic mythology are interesting mythologies to learn about as well. I mean, I could make something about Celtic mythology quiz, but the only slight thing is the names. I may not be able to pronounce the name well enough, honestly. Even though I have a book that contains many mythologies from North America all the way to Australia, New Zealand, and even part of Europe and Asia. So yeah, the next mythology that I was considered to be doing is probably Greek mythology. I know at least plenty of that one. Unfortunately, I was sad that I couldn't be able to do one other above Native American mythologies. Considering there are over almost more than over a little bit more than 900 American tribes in America alone. But the problem is, despite being so many tribes, I wouldn't be able to find much any. And despite that, I was looking into some of the most well-known, like Blackfoot, Creek, Crow, Cherokee, Lakota, and even some others well-known. I even tried to find as much information on different mythology, even though in fact I do have a book of so many mythologies that I got mentioned, but I only mentioned a part of different Solon mythologies from there. I tried. I managed at least to get at least one crypt about uh, Native Americans. Despite there are over almost not close to 1,000 tribes, but it's not many, not all of them has their mythology information online. If I had to go on books, well, that's something I could do, but it's it was a little bit difficult to find out. And well, we know you were busy, but you're late, dude. Way too late for even joining the Gameshow stream. But at least you're here now, Mr. Santa Claus,
Mm,
aka Michigan Santa.
Mm,
Just a question though. Do you know any much about? Do you? What is your? How much do you know of Norse mythology otherwise?
Uh, I mean, each of the mythologies, like I said in the comments, they are interesting subjects.
That is, that's true. Like I said, Celtic mythology, I could do it, but pronouncing the names or different
Hmm.
character or actor and like that, that will be a challenge.
You
Since
know, I actually re-edited two questions from one of my new quizzes, and they're Chinese themed.
hmm,
One is on Chinese mythology, one is on the Chinese constellations.
hmm, I only know a little of Chinese mythology and little, just a very little of Celtic mythology. Egyptian, uh,
Mhm.
I would say average of that one. Greek,
I
something
mean,
similar.
it's almost like nearly every country should have its own mythology. Even Scotland,
Yeah,
if there's ever a thing of Scottish mythology.
that's true. There is. I mean, Japan have its own mythology, and here's the thing, though. Why don't you say Africa? Well, that's another thing about it. There were many different countries in Africa. Each own country has its own mythology. And since that, not only that, Africa's each country can be inhabited by different tribes of people or backgrounds, and each tribe can have its own mythology. In fact, there is actually one. Dogon people that lives in Africa believes that they were being taught of how astronomy and somewhat like that from people, uh, aliens from Sirius, like the star Sirius. But it's so like that. And of course, when it comes to some mythologies that, like um, ancient mythologies, I'm afraid that I won't be able to do much about them. Since, I mean, if since the culture is no longer alive, it's like the Incan culture, for example. They have a very unique, very a rich mythology in that. But since that culture is no longer around, it will be a little bit difficult to find much information about that particular mythology. So I would prefer to be using much of more common known mythologies, like Greek, or Chinese, or Egyptian. I mean, those are more very rich in mythology and in culture. I won't be able to do any much. Those are based on um, even like say, even though Native Americans are still alive and most of the tribes are, but it might be a bit difficult. It might be a bit a hard task to track down every possible potential question in their mythology. Some might not, some of them might already have been used, and since normally I would use around 80 questions, give or take. But if I would just focus on one Native American tribe, say, let's say if I will focus on Navajo, and if I had used, say,
Mhm.
maybe, if I only had used some of the common, if I had only used some of the questions already, and if I just search, if I literally track down every potential their mythology on Google and even in books in Wikipedia and all that kinds, I may not even find enough. If I say if I despite how much hard search research I did or do, I might just simply end up maybe just I don't know 30, maybe 40 questions, or perhaps just maybe just 20, and that would not be enough. I'd rather have at least 50, or I'd rather have around maybe 70 or 80 questions. But if I can even find enough that, so I've rather been searching for the information that I will well be able to find. I mean, if I would do maybe sort of a collab or having one of you guys as a co-host, if you were to search and make one half of your questions, and as I will do another half, as we've done before, I mean that'll work. But when it comes to different mythologies like Celtic ones, uh, like I said, it's not like I have no problem to do it. It just the only thing is about the different. is that pronouncing the names, and as the Norse
It's
mythology,
always
same,
it's always best to try and give them your best shot.
true, true. But even though some people like I'm butchering the name. I mean, I mean, but when it comes to Celtic mythology, there's another thing about that. Since the Celtic religion was actually not just only in main Europe, it was even in England and Ireland. So, but Celtic mythology as a quest is not impossible to do, and of course, I will have to do some research into how much there is. I mean, I will only do I will only do questions that's of mythologies um, that's a lot of information that can be found. And I mean, Norse mythology quiz I may be able to make just perhaps just two or three at most. That's more, but it depends on how many information I can be find. Since I told the brothers that the Norse mythology, the stories were most common around the early Viking Age and by the end of the Viking Age. But since the Vikings, they told the stories, they were oral tradition. They kept the stories alive by telling the stories, but they never wrote it down. It wasn't until like 200 years after the Viking Age had ended, around the 1200s on Iceland, when two authors wrote down the stories. So it's just like that. If I would have to do some stories, there had to be at least plenty of different, potential questions that in the mythology that can be used. And even if you guys may heard some of the, say, Greek mythology, like some heroes like Hercules, Hades, Titans, or something like that. If you saw this Disney's cartoon Hercules, that's it's actually a kind of what they're representing most of the common gods, goddess, and some historical figures like Hercules, Hades, and the Titans. And yeah, so the Greek mythology itself is not like an impossible a task to do. I mean, I read a lot about it over the years, but I'm actually Egyptian, yeah, Chinese. I read a little bit about it, so it wouldn't be that much difficulty to that. Japanese, not much a problem. I mean, we now these days we have access to internet, so you can just look it up on different topic on within that mythology that you want to use. But and like I said about Native American tribes mythology, even despite so many tribes, but not there is not. What I'm trying to say is there's not uh, there's not always that every single tribe's mythology's information or their tradition is easily to find access on as information online. Despite being has a very some of them actually have a very rich culture in mythology. Every single part of the world has a unique mythology, and so so I might not even do every single mythology in the world. It depend on, of course, on if I can find enough questions or well, not much information. Only if I found only a few things, that would not be enough. I mean, if I only found, let's say, to make it enough as 10 or maybe as 15 questions, even if you just, but if you were and I were doing it, and I will only find maybe it's max 15, and you found maybe just, maybe another 10, that might not even be it. But if you can find anything that could be considered to be used as a question, then only 15 questions, and well, then I might just simply say, well, that topic as a quiz is out because I'd rather have at least under between 60 or 80 at most. But when you're thinking, like say Greek mythology or Japanese or Chinese mythology, as long as there are a lot of information on those different type of part of the mythologies, that is what is involved, like uh, figures. Like say, if we're like Hercules in Greek mythology. There's a lot of information about him. There are a lot of information about Jason and his followers and so many others. And of course, as long as there's plenty of information out there you can use as a part of question, go for it. But if there are only questions that or information on certain mythology of a culture that's no longer around, like say if you were to do questions based on the Sumerian mythology, which is a culture which had been extinct for 5,000 years, that might be a bit difficult to find. But sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to find some of the questions, so depend on topics of what you want to use. But in my case, when it comes to Norse mythology, it wasn't much difficult because I literally grew up with this mythology. After all, it's part of my culture. And American mythologies depend on like American urban legends. That's something up to you guys. That's something that you guys may have more success than I have. After all, you guys are a part of America, and you have more heard, may have heard some more urban legends. Each U.S. state has its own urban legends, and not only that, like for example, Michigan has some of the strange mythologies like uh, Sister Lake Sasquatch or Dew Lake Monster, which is the Bigfoot. Um, some other states had this um, Goat Man. Others have this Bunny Man. Oh, about the Goat Man, there are a few states that have different versions. One, well, let's say it was supposed to be a scientist that doing some experiment on uh part act- part of the story though. This actually was involved an actual scientific laboratory that did in fact exist, but the scientist didn't exist. But he was doing some experiments and he injected himself with goat DNA, which somehow transformed himself to half goat, half human.
Mm.
So, and as the game guy knows, that the bunny man, who is the man who's dressed as a bunny in a tunnel, chase away people with an axe or machete or something like that. Every single state has its own unique urban legends. Even even despite being a big state, but each city, even despite being a big city like Los Angeles or in a small town that has maybe a population of say just 5 to maybe 6,000 people, could still have its own urban legends. Even like
Mm.
for your life, may have been some urban legends that only exist that's very unique to your area. And like, but it, of course, when it comes to urban legends, that ain't not only includes like the goat man or the bunny man. It could even involve like ghosts. It can be
Mm.
so many different. And urban legend as a questions as for Gameshow stream, that's something I would love to do. And and it's like when I made this all even like the a topic of backrooms, for example. That is one thing I like to do. But unfortunately for one part, there were this as the game guy once said that they had over 10,000 different objects or in the backrooms. But some reason they had changed that to less than just about 1,000. And for one website that I found, most of those pages that has from 1 to 900, most of them had nothing, no info, nada, zip, nothing at all. So I had a little bit hard to figure out, despite I made two quiz already at the time, and then I made a third, and I would have a little bit. Well, that's just another thing. Is if you're making more topics of the same question, if you make more questions the same topic, and if you use the same, if there are limit of potential information. If you repeat the same thing, well, eventually, if you do the same type of question over and over, well, you're like, oh, A, B, D easily. So we are only that would not be much a challenge. Like if I were to say, if I would use something in a topic,
Hmm.
I would easily been if I had to use one topic over and over. Eventually, even as game gets memory, sometimes it's not good. But if I had to use something in topic and that, oh, by the way, I remember that and does that, and next question, oh yeah, that's that, and that, and over. If we
Hmm.
do that the same thing, or if or you use something, a topic or something, and I hear the answer, oh, that's easy, that, and it wouldn't be much challenge. The more funnier, the more fun if it's a challenge in the topics. If we were, if we decide to repeat to use the same topic but different, if I mean, if we like, if Game Guy and Roy would make something of backrooms, and
Hmm.
if they had to use the same questions over and over, maybe they're not something similar to, but the same questions repeatedly. If we use all the available information that's found in each topic, it will be a little bit, the only bit being sad and not a challenge. Because what is the fun in the challenge if there's not much that you can actually do that? I
I
mean, if we
mean,
repeat,
I could understand. I mean, I could see you doing entire quiz on some of Disney's movies, like Fox and the Hound, Bedknobs and Broomsticks. That one was my personal favorite because of
true,
the magic in how well Angela Lansbury played the role of Miss Eglantine Price.
yeah, I mean, there's another thing about that. I mean, if you wanted to make a quiz based on a movie that you have seen many times and you thought like, that is one of my favorite movies, I would like to do it as a quiz, and you had to do that. And if someone
But
asked me to do it, but if someone asked me to do a based on a quiz on a movie, like you had suggested that like the Mummy from the 30s, I'm like, well, the thing is, I can't do that. As long as if I haven't seen the movie personally, I will not be able to do any of those questions. I mean, if I sent someone a question, and if it's like the Mummy killed this woman first,
mm,
and it turned out that was complete false. That was complete opposite. It was actually a man that was killed and not the woman. And that the woman was the one said the woman and not the man survived. But it's like, okay, in the end, it was actually the man that only survived and the other woman didn't. I mean, as long as I can see that if I have seen the movie or if I somehow can find the movie to be watching online for free, that's fine. Because I can't make a quiz based on a movie that which I haven't seen, even though I have been told about it from you guys. But as long as I haven't seen it myself, I mean, that would only make it difficult to make it up questions for it. I mean, I understand that like you like some of old classical horror movies from the 30s. Like, okay, I mean, if I wanted to do say based on a horror movies, like say those classical cult movies as they call it, Fred, like uh based on Freddy Krueger or something like that. And I was like, it's not that's impossible because I had never even seen any of the movies. And if I would do, if I have seen the movies, I still would had, of course, I would try to make the minimize the mention of blood scenes and all that. Like in the Shining, for example, when the elevator opens and this flood of blood just pouring out of it. That is one scene that maybe some of the people like Game Guy may just,
mm,
well, may not even handle it so well. And I mean, anyone can do if
mm.
like you, either the Game Guy, Roy, or even I don't know, hey, even Hayden can do a quest based on uh maybe as a horror movie. But as long as it doesn't mention much as a blood scene for someone like mentioned that some of us may not even handle that much.
I
But
I could also probably see a quiz on Earth versus the Spider from 1958. That was a good one.
yeah, I mean, you can even make a quiz based on any movie
Gonna
that you want
pretend
to.
like I've heard of that movie, which I have not.
Well, I mean, even if I had never seen it, and you make it, that is what's another thing about it. If even if you guys make a movie, a quiz based on a movie that you guys have seen, but some of we others has never even seen or has never heard of, that makes it a more challenge. Even though we may have heard of the movie but never seen it, that makes it still much more of a challenge. But if we have seen a movie ourselves, it still make a challenge. Like if I had seen one movie from the early '90s, if I had only seen that movie like say once and I haven't seen it again, it still makes a challenge. Like if I had seen a good movie despite one of my favorites, but only seen like once. It's like
Hmm.
if Game Guy want to make a movie quiz based on The Mask from the '90s, or one of his favorite movies from his when he was young, that's fine as well. If anyone made um, a quiz based on one of the adventure movies, like okay, I would not know nothing. After all, I had even seen none of the adventures movies. And if anyone like, what about the Guardian of the Galaxy movies? Nope, none in them either. I basically had even seen none on Marvel movies at all, except for the almost first three movies of Spider-Man with the actor Sam. But the other ones like
Mhm.
Homecoming, some of those, no, I really haven't seen. And I hadn't even seen the Spider-Man in Multiverse or the ones that Miles, the new African American boy, as a Spider-Man. I haven't even seen those either. And honestly, though, would I? Mm, most likely, no. I never been much a fan of Marvel, to be honest, or Avengers. I mean, even despite me growing up watching the some of the original Spider-Man on TV. In fact, I have seen two of the Fantastic Four. I mean, I have seen at least a few of the Hulk and yeah. So there is another thing is if anyone would have made a quiz based on Indiana Jones movies, I'm up for it. I've seen all of them except one, the recent one. The new one, which was released on Disney Plus yesterday, is something I haven't seen yet. Even though I already knew what's supposed going to happen in that movie. Spoilers, time travel, all I can say. But yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to make a quiz based on a movie or something, or perhaps history. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind if when it comes to like make a quiz based on movies or games or I mean games. That is another thing that you guys can also do. I mean, to be fair, I'm not much an average gamer or even a hardcore
Mhm.
gamer at all. Since last time I played the video games was like what 10, 12 years ago, give or take. And like
Maybe
I
you
said
should
before,
start again.
what?
Maybe you should start playing again.
Uh, well, I mean, even back then, I was never much a gamer myself. I mean, I never even had a PlayStation or Xbox or even any game consoles at all. I mean, I even played Pokemon Red and Blue, like I mentioned once before. Uh, and I never even completed the games. I mean, I perhaps just only left Palatown. That's it. The only reasons why I came so far was my first girlfriend at the time and a classmate helped me. But if when they couldn't help me, I was stuck. Main reason was because English is not my native language. So, and the reason I could speak it well enough now is because mostly self-taught. I studied myself when I was in school, but otherwise, um, Well, the fact is that even though I didn't speak much English back then, I was like what 9 or 10 years old, give or take. But I somehow managed to complete some other games in English, but despite didn't really speak it. Some of the words were well something. Some words I could understand for some odd. There were, I mean, some of the words were quite similar in my language, like attack, okay, yes or no. But for some reason I could understand some of the words, not all. But I mean, I did once play a game that was now also being based on two movies, House of Death, which is a basically zombie movie. And the first movie of that game, honestly though, it was just not good at all. And as they made this movie based on the game Doom, when I saw the first movie, I was like, okay, I played the game and interested to see what this movie can be like. When I saw Van Diesel
Mm.
as as one of the main characters, well, I mean, after all, Van Diesel is an excellent actor when it comes to like action scenes like that. Okay, okay, watch it. I would say, eh, well enough. I mean, I I never been much a fan of zombie movies to be honest though, but I've seen plenty of them over the years. But horror movies, no, not much fan either. I mean, I love horrors, but yeah, that
I mean,
depends
have
on what
you at least seen any of the few great classics like the classic Dracula or King Kong?
the classical King Kong, the black white one.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. I only saw the most recent the remake of it, but I actually saw kind of a sequel to King Kong, where he did survive the fall, and that he was not the last of his kind, but they found a female on the same island, and they in fact had a son. But Kong
Mm.
did die in that movie. But if anyone asks, but what about the Godzilla movies, for example? Well, I have all the American versions. For the first, they're from the one from 1998. Seen it once, but never again. That movie was completely boring. Honestly, though, at first he didn't. That Godzilla didn't look like anything like those Japanese version. Like that was like a more like a mutated T Rex. Even had his atomic breath at all. And but I think I have seen almost every Japanese Godzilla movies from the 50s and up to the early thousands.
Mm.
But the most recent one that American that versus King Kong and King of Monsters. Well, I've seen I think two or three of those movies actually, and honestly though, it was okay, I guess. I mean, even his new look was well, they were similar to those Japanese classical one, but bringing a new type of versions of that, and I know the fact that there's gonna be new uh, Godzilla movies continuing from the franchise. But when it comes to my favorite genre in movies, which is sci-fi, I mean, like Star Wars. Who cannot not even love Star Wars? I mean, if you love sci-fi, you do not necessarily have to love Star Wars. You can be any sci-fi, actually. Um, but I know the fact that I've seen every Star Wars movies out there, even the winter Christmas holiday that was made in 1977, shortly after Episode 4. And I'm actually even looking forward to Star Wars Rogue Squadron movie that's going to be released within, I don't know exactly when, but the next few years at most. But I know fact There is one movie that had been confirmed to have a release date and what's going to happen. Well, partially. Even though they haven't given an official name yet on the movie, which is I really doubt it's gonna be Star Wars Episode 10. After all, Episode 9 was supposed to be the final movie in that franchise. Um, but as far as I know from what's gonna happen in this one, Rey had started her own Jedi school and training them. She is now an official Jedi Master, and it's set to take place around 15 years after Episode 9. And the movie is going to be released in 2026. But that's it I know of. But they hadn't even been mentioning like any other characters in the movie. Oh, if you guys have remember one cartoon series that's called uh, Hey Puff Amayumi, those rock stars from Cartoon Network, Japanese series or like that. Cody actually showed me a poster of an official movie that's going to be released next year. But I told it it's not. It's possible that poster could have simply been a fan made art. I did look up that after my call with him yesterday. Just looked up if possible, but it didn't say anything on Wikipedia at all. But here's the thing: don't believe everything that they had on Wikipedia. Take sometimes a grain of salt in it some true lies. I'm just saying it. But there is one franchise that I'm looking forward to see, which unfortunately though won't be released until next year in early. I don't know exactly which date, but they have just released it by January. Has been Hotel. It's gonna be released on Prime. I don't have Prime, but my dad said we will get it until when it's gonna be released. And in the first official trailer of that series, they actually mentioned season two is coming. This is the first season, and it's complete different characters. I was like, when I asked Figonis if she knew if Hell of a Boss, which is kind of a spin-off version of the same franchise, if there be any crossovers between those characters in the series, but she said no. Apparently, the creator somehow sold have given the rights of Hell of a Boss to someone else. Well, she still owns some of the rights to the series apparently, but they will not cross over to in that franchise. I mean, but Has Been Hotel, despite its first pilot episode was released in 2019, well, Has Been Hotel was supposed to be released summer of this year, but unknown reason it didn't happen. But until
Mm.
next year, which now officially though, I mean, when it comes to like Star Wars, they have made so many series of that now. They're like live action versions, like Obi-Wan Kenobi now has Ahsoka. The There is actually a few others that upcoming. One is called Alkalite. I don't know what that's about. Uh, Lando Calrissian, this African American guy from the first movies, he will actually have his own live action series. One
Mm.
is called Skeleton Crew, and that one is about a group of kids that somehow is trying to find their way home. But that's all the information I know of that one. And when that one and Lando series will be released, no idea. Well, I would say maybe within the next 2 to 3 years at most. Well, of course, Mandalorian, which I know is currently in the fourth season development. There were actually, I don't know if you guys, okay, at least two people I know can roll out Game Guy Roy. I don't think they had even seen The Mandalorian. After all, Game Guy is not a Star Wars fan. You know that much. Um, in the season three, I believe, this Moff Gideon. he died in that season. But one person one person actually made a short video uh, mentioned that the person that Gideon was died may not be the actual Gideon. That might have been simply a clone. And how he made that statement, or how did he figure out? Well, from the season 3 onwards until he died, or at least season 1, he had a mustache. But in the first season, he was complete no mustache. But he actually had clones, and each single clone didn't have any mustache at all. They at that one they matched the same one that was killed. So it's possible that could have been a clone, and that he may simply be, um, well, still out there alive. Well, that and Commander Thrawn from the Star Wars Rebels, in also in Ahsoka, is alive and returning back to the main galaxy once again. And no, Ahsoka won't be a second season. There's going to just be one season of 8 episodes. That was myth of it.
Mm.
Same thing as uh, Obi-Wan Kenobi live action series. Also, basically, though, my opinion, every single series is based on Star Wars ever since episode, uh, even Kenobi, Ahsoka.
Mm.
Well, to be honest, though, I was not much a big fan of those. And to me, those series, episode 9, 8, and 7, to me, doesn't count as canonical at all. For a reason, ever since George Lucas sold the rights to the movies to Disney back in early 2015, or was it 2012? After that he sold, they changed the whole timeline. And like one of the most iconic Jedi, Master Yoda, when he was a part of the old timeline, George Lucas never revealed where he was from, and then never the name of his actual species, which is kind of a bit strange. When I heard that Disney decided to, when they bought the rights to the Star Wars, at least part of it, I was like, okay, finally, now we're gonna have at least they will reveal where he was from. But today, nope, not at all. I mean, surprised that at least that Yoda species are unique. They have a lifespan of 900, but they mature much slower than any other species in the galaxy. I mean, they don't consider it as a full grown adult of age 100. And despite Grogu, or Baby Yoda, which is also known as, he's 50 years old and still as an infant. And I don't think that Grogu won't be able to speak until when he's another 20 or 30 years or so. I mean, it makes sense, but there were actually one person I read on somewhere online suspect that
Mm.
Yoda's species is actually from the unknown regions. It's possible it could be because the unknown regions is one of the few regions in the galaxy that at least that's almost not been explored. And also, the unknown regions is also one of the most dangerous regions in the galaxy. There are, since like I said, there has not been explored, so there are a lot of dangerous areas in that region. One other, wild space, half explored, half unexplored. Same thing. There are some areas that are dangerous.
Mm.
Another dangerous place, deep core. The deep core is definitely also very dangerous, like very dangerous,
Uh,
especially with the massive black hole.
a
Oh
massive
man,
a massive black hole. I didn't know Cody's Big Butt Shadow was in it.
Oh man, yeah. But the thing is about Star Wars Deep Core, there are two known worlds that's habitable. One was called Abyss, which were, well, Palpatine's secret throne room, throne world, was eventually destroyed. Another one, Titan, the original homeworld of the Jedi Order, but in Legends it is. But in canon, it is not. The original
Um,
homeworld is Acto.
um, I wanted to ask if there was a chance we could do uh a few of like half of the last 10 new quizzes I have.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, we are almost at 2.5 hours mark in this stream, so
Also, ha ha
um,
ha, game guy.
a black hole for is Donald Trump's giant ass crack? Probably. uh, you know, people doesn't really like Trump much these days. Oh, well, to be honest, I don't blame them. But no, a lot of people don't like Biden for some reason either. Well, to be fair, I prefer not to get myself involved in politics at all. Not even when it comes to Sweden's politics for the election of the new government each time. Oh boy. Sometimes I wonder, should I vote or not? Next election is not the next 2 years, I think. Yay. I'd rather be living in a hole when that comes. Politics. Politics. Sometimes it get bit just completely just, annoying. When it happens, someone mentioned politics that says annoying. I can tell exactly what that probably would remind me of. Annoying orange. That what it reminds me of. After all, annoying orange is so freaking annoying. Uh, so yeah. Um, I don't know if I told you this, Malaka, but the next uh, the next stream that we'll do for early Christmas will be the 21st, 22nd, and early New Year's stream the 30th, and the last game show stream of the year will be the 29th. And I may think maybe we'll do a topic that I want to do. Maybe do our second long cryptid quiz of 246 questions or something else. I will figure out something. After all, I have over about 40 quiz on my computer already been made. Some of them have not been even updated. Shish. Oh boy. I haven't been having the time for that since I've been making this Christmas stories. Oh boy. But at least I'm half done with those. I made what? There are gonna be 15 total, and I have done. Let's see. Come on. What? Where are you? Damn it. Folder. Open up. Here we go. Uh, 12 out of 15. So, boy. Of all those 15, it will be just three of them is gonna be audio, but the rest are text and music as normal. I can also say this: most of them will actually be just around 30 minutes long, not more than that. I mean, I don't even. I never. Well, in advance, I really doesn't um, decide exactly how long it's gonna be each story. Sometimes they can be just 20 minutes, 80 minutes, maybe just an hour or so. No, one of my original stories, something from back when it started, they weren't even 10 minutes long. Somewhere from between almost 9. I mean, that was back when I first started. Nowadays days are way longer. So yeah, oh boy, the ones that still left to do. Come on, which one on the list left to do? Current one that's working for is for Game Guy. The next one to do is for Robo Gamer, and the one left, other ones, is a story that Malachite asked me to do for Fire Goddess, my girlfriend. So yeah, those are the three that still pretty much remains. Oh boy, I should have done these doors way earlier. Feel almost burnt out, you know. Fun. Well, I should probably end here. And I will stream tomorrow, just a regular stream. But if I don't stream tomorrow, well, I may not just do it. Sometimes happens that I don't stream the whole weekend. Well, the reason may not be possible because I might just be occupied tomorrow. So, yeah, this is Fish Double signing off. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.